And you heard Jimmy Shane talk to Rob a little bit ago. Photographer, get your camera ready because that first turn is rough. You're going to see some boats in the air.
Yeah, and I would say, for the most part, they will, and I like to use the term tiptoe through that corner a lot. And I have a feeling that's probably going to be the case until we get to the final.
Well, and, bottom line is you want to be able to run at 5:30. We have 6 boats here. I will use the assumption very loosely that we'll run 4 and 2 trailers, 4 on the front line and 2 trailers. That is just an assumption. All things considered, everybody makes it, survives until the 5:30 final.
Yeah.
That being said, you can't run in the final unless you make it there, and you've got to keep it all in one piece. So back to your point, you can't win the Gold Cup in Heat 1, but, man, you can lose it. And you can lose it badly, not only for yourself, but other people if you try to do more than what you need to. And, again, always to remember in a situation like this, and I don't know how they've laid it out at drivers' meetings, but you want to be on the front row. You gotta assure yourself that. You don't want to start from the trailer position, but you actually have to survive the 3 elimination heats to get there.
Right. And to me, that's the most important thing on everybody's mind, because Jimmy Alston said, it's going to be exciting for the fans, but us drivers are going to have to use our heads.
Very much so. And, don't lose it in the first heat.
Right.
And it's always been my philosophy for heat number 1, always, and this is a little different today because there's only 6 boats. When there's 10 or 11 or 12 boats that are participating and you eliminate boats from going in the final, this first set of heats is always the second most important heats of the weekend.
Yep.
If you score poorly here, your time, your effort to get to the final is going to be compromised.
Yeah.
If you score well here, you've set the day. You have set the tone for the day if you can score well in the first heat.
Yeah, and we've seen that in numerous times, whether it's at Detroit or Tri-Cities, and I'm not talking about the Gold Cup. You want to put yourself on the front row. If there's a 4 or 5 boat heat, again, this is not today, but if there is, if you win or but then have a penalty and you go from 400 to 127 points, which is 5th place points.
Right.
4, 3, 2, 1,
1 to the 5. If you couldn't already hear that.
Rivertown Bar and Grill as the heat sponsor for Heat 1A here at the 2021 APBA Gold Cup, presented by Nucor of Madison. Or it's the Grand Prix America Series presented by Knighton Industry. So we'll see boats on the water here within the next minute. 3 boats. This will be 2 3-boat heats. It'll be 3-boat heats for the afternoon until we get to the final at 5:30. And then, of course, we'll run 1A and 1B for the Unlimiteds, run 2A and 2B for the Grand Prix America hulls. And everybody in the pit area working, Travis, knows it is going to be a quick, fast-paced day. You better be ready. You better be planning ahead because it's not a day where we're going to wait for you.
Yeah, we're not going to wait. That's because we're going to go.
Yep.
We've got to go. 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes, green flag on the course, and the boat should be able to leave the dock.
And with that, Dave Billwalk will be the first one to spool up and leave the pit area in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Stop freaking, call Beacon. Bill Cahill and the Beacon Plumbing sponsorship.
Jimmy Shane and the Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank headed out as well. And Corey Peabody and the Pinnacle Peak Consulting, all 3 H1 Unlimited are up and running as we are at 4:15 before the start.
The question you asked me yesterday, and I was going to check, and I was just sitting here thinking about it, is Corey Peabody gets up on plane. Last year, Dave Billwalk raced before this year was 2014.
14.
Because him and Jimmy Shane had some
issues. At Tri-Cities and Seattle, I believe. Is that right?
You are correct.
Yeah. With the Elam boat that
No, it would have
No.
been. It would have been with Shoemaker's boat.
Shoemaker's boat. Dave Vilwalk cuts the Grand Prix course, headed from back to front. Jimmy Shane going to go all the way up into turn 2. 3:30 before the start as Vilwalk crosses the start-finish line. Corey Peabody is headed that way as well.
Headed up towards the bridge as Jimmy Shane is up in turn 2. Vilwalk in 1, Shane and Peabody up in 2 with now approaching 3 minutes to go before the start.
3 minutes right now.
I like this on the TV screen too.
Oh, yes.
That's
yeah,
nice.
Mr. Tate told us it would be on there. And
That's fantastic. Jimmy Shane across the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Dave Vilwalk once again goes to the infield as Corey Peabody comes down across the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line, and then Dave Vilwalk will follow suit in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Shane down in 1, Peabody just about to get to 1, and Vilwalk will go down to 1 as well.
Turn number 2, just past the Milton Madison Bridge.
So all three in the lower corner now headed up the backstretch. 2:20 before the start of Heat 1A.
I'm going to assume, and this is horrible to do, especially when you're trying to guess lane assignments for heat, what everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
I would assume most will want to go up underneath the bridge, although Vilwalk has not gone out underneath the bridge in this 5-minute period.
Not yet.
2 minutes to go.
Corey Peabody going to cut the course from
Yep.
back to front.
That's why it's not good to assume. Dave Vilwalk will
Cut as well. 145.
So there's Vilwalk cutting the course. Shane will come out of 2 and come down the front straightaway. Peabody's going to go down into corner number 1. We are at 1.5 minutes, and he's a tad early as Corey Peabody. He will not be able to slough off enough speed. Shane is going to hustle down across the start-finish line. Peabody will have to go quickly up and cut through. Vilwalk he is going way wide. He wants the outside lane.
He may have to still start out there.
Oh, that's right, from last weekend.
From last weekend, because he only raced in one heat. He had to do it in 2. So
You're right. So Corey Peabody will cut through the infield, and he'll go down and join the cast of crew. Now he's going to cut the infield again and go over and join Jimmy Shane and Dave Vilwalk.
So Peabody will cut it again.
Shane will go to the buoy line. He's going to be on the inside, Peabody in 2, and Vilwalk will be on the outside. That's a great point.
Yep.
He only ran 1 heat at Guntersville, so he's still got 1 more heat to go.
To start on the outside. We're at 40 seconds before the start. Of course, now that we go up under the up under the Madison Milton Bridge, scrub off a little more speed than you could when we turned short of the bridge. So I think everybody's going to be okay. 27 seconds before the start.
20 seconds as they go through the turn 2 sequence. It'll be Shane off the turn first, Peabody off the turn second, Vilwalk trailing behind. We are at 8 seconds as they head down towards start finish. Jimmy Shane carrying a whole lot of boat speed down. 3, 2, 1. Good start right here, and Jimmy Shane will lead him across the start finish line. Shane, Peabody, Vilwalk, 1, 2, 3, down to that treacherous corner number 1. It'll be Jimmy Shane turning left first. Shane negotiates the turn, off the turn, and up the back stretch, and he'll hold the lead by about a rooster tail over Corey Peabody.
And it is Jimmy Shane in the U1, the Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank, in first place comfortably by about 2 rooster tails over Corey Peabody. Dave Vilwalk is in the rooster tail of Corey Peabody. I lost him for a minute. I couldn't see him as they head to the Madison Milton Bridge for the first time.
It'll be a 3-lapper. They're on lap number 1. Shane gets to the entrance pin of turn 2. He'll turn to the left and head down towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Dave Vilwalk trying to track down Corey Peabody, and they're going to come out of corner 2 side by side. Peabody, Vilwalk side by side. Shane's moved over to the middle of the river. He's coming straight down towards the start-finish line. It'll be Jimmy Shane completing 1 with 2 more to go. 1 down, 2 to go for the Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. Vilwalk will move over into Jimmy Shane's wake. in second place. Corey Peabody in third. Billwalk on the outside, Peabody on the inside, and they'll get to turn number 1.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Dave Billwalk has tried to move over a little cleaner water. Peabody tiptoeing his way through the turn, trying to make up time. He's got the shorter way around, but Billwalk still with about a rooster tail lead over Peabody for third. Jimmy Shane, no problems back to the front of the field, though, as he, as Tim mentioned, moved over to about lane 2 or 3 to get away from the pins. And the race right now is for second. It's all Jimmy Shane at the top end.
Jimmy Shane at the entrance pin of 2. He'll negotiate turn number 2 around the apex, around the exit pin. He'll tighten the turn up a little bit closer this time as Billwalk and Peabody both enter turn number 2. It's Shane down underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. The white flag flying. One more lap to go in the Rivertown Bar and Grill Heat 1A. Jimmy Shane will cross the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Down in second place will be Dave Billwalk in the U40, the Beacon Plumbing, and he is all over the front straightaway trying to get over in Jimmy Shane's way. And now second or third to Corey Peabody in the Pinnacle Peak Consulting. Shane off the exit pin of turn number 1.
Yep, looks pretty nice, clean turn there for Jimmy Shane for the final time of this heat. Billwalk, he makes it through all right as well. Peabody halfway through the turn now. Some pretty rough water down there. And he will exit turn 1 and head up the back straightaway. He's pretty much relegated to third. But it's all Jimmy Shane in the U1 Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank. One more turn to go for 400 big points.
Jimmy Shane up to corner number 2. He'll negotiate around the entrance pin. He'll go a little wider this time, Will Shane, off the exit pin as Dave Billwalk gets to the entrance pin of turn 2 in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Shane underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Checkered flag flies. A good start for the U1. Goodman Real Estate presents them as Home Street. Jimmy Shane with a first place finish. Dave Billwalk comes down the front straightaway. A nice run for the U40. Much better performance today than we saw last week. It's Dave Billwalk at the Beacon Plumbing with second. Corey Peabody coming down underneath the bridge and towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop.
Jimmy Shane coming back into the pit area, and followed by Dave Billwalk in the Beacon Plumbing and Corey Peabody as well. Looks like folks are also getting ready, folks, for Heat 1B presented by Rivertown Pizza. That's coming up here in just a matter of minutes. We'll go over that lineup here in just a moment. Both coming back into the pit area. Great way to begin the 2021 Madison.
Elon Musk has done it again.
We know how important a comfortable
So that was the reason of giving Jimmy heat there. We talked briefly about me getting a heat here, but we want to put our best foot forward and effort here in Madison to win, not only because it's Madison, but it's the Gold Cup. And to do that, we don't want to be switching drivers. I'm totally fine. I got the GP to drive and play with and radio, so I'm busy enough. There's no sense on doing that. Get Jimmy out there as many times as we can. Keep working on our timing marks. We tested more than anybody. The timing marks were great for Jimmy. He was the only one at the start, so it doesn't make sense for me to get in the boat. I just want to help win no matter how. So being on the radios, if I'm more valuable there, let's do it.
All right, Jeff Bernard, we're getting ready for Heat 1B. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Rob Conant, again, Rob with Jeff Bernard, and it will be Heat 1B coming up in just a few minutes.
5:50 before the start.
Yep. Jeff Bernard signing an autograph, too.
You know what?
Should be an interesting Heat 1B, especially with the 12 and the 8.
Yeah, both J. Michael and Andrew both like the inside lane. And again, we go back to what we talked about before 1A. Lane 1 might not be the place to be, and you tell a great story that Steve David told you about the inside lane.
Yeah. I asked him before a final one year, you want the inside lane? He goes, ooh, maybe,
Yeah.
but maybe not. But if I'm on the inside lane and I'm hauling butt all the way down to the first corner, I better be doggone sure when I turn left, I'm going to hold my lane all the way through, and I'm not 100% sure I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inside lane is typically the place to go, but not always.
But not always. The U8, the Miss Tri-Cities, with J. Michael Kelly first to leave the dock, followed by the U11, J&Ds with Jamie Nielsen and Andrew Tate, and the U12, Graham Trucking, all three unlimiteds up and on plane for Heat 1B, coming up in 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
All right, boats down in the lower corner. J. Michael Kelly will lead him out of the corner and up the backstretch. And when you look at J. Michael Kelly, and one of the things that you think about is somebody very, and it's not that anybody else isn't, but he is very tactical for trying to get his timing marks to get the inside lane.
Very much so. See if anybody decides to cut, then that would be J. Michael Kelly. Will cut the Grand Prix course and head toward the start-finish line French straightaway. Andrew Tate and Jamie Nielsen going to go all the way up to turn 2.
Yep. See if he'll go all the way down, or will he cut?
Nope, all the way.
Oh, he's going to go all the way down. Jamie Nielsen and Andrew Tate up in turn 2.
3:15 before the start.
So one boat going up the back stretch, 2 coming down the front straightaway towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Here comes Andrew Tate by start-finish now. Here comes Jamie Nielsen by start-finish now.
Another safety zone that I failed to mention prior to 1A. To the left, the Milton Madison Bridge, just to the west of it. All that infield space, you turn number 10, that space between there, you can't go in there.
Nielsen and just now getting ready to exit turn 1. Andrew Tate up the backstretch. We look toward the upper end of the course. J. Michael Kelly's decided to go all the way down to turn 2 and 2.5 before the start. And to wait and see if we're going to get another cut or 2. Andrew Tate, no. Jamie Nielsen, no.
Now everybody will go up and go through and come back down.
Yep.
So J. Michael Kelly going to have his choice of lanes unless somebody decides to leapfrog. Now JMK will pick up the pace coming down the front straightaway a little bit. Now he gets out of the throttle at 2 minutes to go before the start.
And is he going to cut?
He can't cut till down here.
Yeah, he's okay.
He turned left to go to the inside. So that answers that question.
Yeah, now he's going to cut to the backstretch.
Yeah, because he may be a little quick.
Yeah, I think he is.
So what will Andrew Tate do? Will he go on down? Yep, he's going to go on down.
At 1:35.
And I think Andrew Tate not in bad shape coming off the corner.
J. Michael's going to cut up here at the Grand Prix again. So J. Michael may have hurt himself on that one and may have to go to the outside.
Yeah, well, we're still at 1:20 to go. And of course, you've got a long backstretch to negotiate, so you can scrub off a lot of time if you're moving 80 miles an hour.
That's right. And plus, if J. Michael really wanted to, he could push the issue and get in front of Jamie Nielsen.
Yeah, he could. You're absolutely right.
Mark, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Andrew Tate might be a tick early.
I think he is a tick early. J. Michael Kelly, he's flying up the backstretch. I think he might try to scoot over a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Boy, Tate, he is early. And boy, J. Michael, I think he's a little early, too. Nielsen might be the best of the three.
Yep, at 40 seconds, and they're going under the bridge. Now Jamie Nielsen getting to the bridge right now to go under it. A half a minute to go before the start. They're really going to have to scrub some speed off.
Looks like Tate's going to be in 2. Yep, J. Michael's inside of him.
No, he's not.
Nope, he's not. Nope, you're right. 10 seconds. It's going to be close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, looks like a good start, and here Jamie Nielsen will lead him across.
Jamie Nielsen across start finish down to corner number 2. Nielsen in and out of the corner. He'll be first in, but it'll be a lot of red and black with the Graham Trucking. Andrew Tate off the corner first in the Graham Trucking and up the backstretch. Oh! J. Michael Kelly got in the rooster tail of Andrew Tate and went way up in the air. The boat's still upright, and he's still trying to keep it going. Jamie Nielsen in second. It'll be J. Michael Kelly that'll keep it running and keep going, but it'll be Andrew Tate underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Goodness gracious.
Oh my, a little bit like last week.
Yeah.
Corey Peabody did the same thing down in Guntersville, but Andrew Tate, he is in and out of turn number 2. There's Jamie Nielsen. Going into 2 now is J. Michael Kelly. Haven't heard anything on the H1 radio yet, so as of right now, we'll call it as it is on the course. It is Andrew Tate, Jamie Nielsen. They're going to have the 12 run an extra lap just in case.
Coming down third place now is J. Michael Kelly in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Looks like everything's still attached to his boat.
Yeah, I'll say I don't see anything unless I didn't look at the canard. But Andrew Tate, Jamie Nielsen still down just about a rooster tail behind. He's pedaling like crazy to try to catch up down the back straightaway. As the race is at the front of the field, J. Michael Kelly, he's trying as well after that mishap coming out of turn 1 on lap 1. But it is still Andrew Tate with the lead, followed by Nielsen and Kelly.
It'll be Andrew Tate getting up to corner number 2. Come down to get the white flag in this 3-lap elimination heat 1B. Tate in and out of corner 2, down towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Nielsen will be off of corner number 2 as well. Jamie Nielsen keeping the pressure on Andrew Tate. Here's Tate coming down he'll get the green flag, and it'll be the white flag for Jamie Nielsen.
Well, again, there's no penalty. They just told Andrew to run an extra lap. That's just what I heard. So Tate is still in the lead. He's in and out of turn number 1 right now. It's pretty rough, but he negotiates it. Nielsen in second. Still looking for J. Michael Kelly. There he is, just completing his second lap. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, we'll call it as it is on the course. Tate, Nielsen, and Kelly just now getting into turn number 1. But back to the top.
Back to the top of the course, it is Andrew Tate. He stretched his lead out over Jamie Nielsen in the U11 J&Ds to about 2.5 rooster tails. Now Tate will get to the entrance pen right now. So it'll be Andrew Tate off the corner. He'll come down to get the white flag, and we'll have to sort out a little bit of confusion. They're going to have Andrew Tate run the extra lap, as you heard Travis mention, just for precautionary measures. On the water, it's Andrew Tate completing his 3rd lap, but he'll get the white flag. They'll bring the white back in, put the checkered flag out for Jamie Nielsen in the U11 J&Ds. J. Michael Kelly just now coming off corner 2, and he'll come across the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line to get the checkered flag as well. It'll be the Miss Tri-Cities in J. Michael Kelly, Andrew Tate.
He's got the canard, so it doesn't look like anything. Doesn't look hurt on the boat.
Andrew Tate up the backstretch, and he'll finish his final lap. He'll just run an extra one for precaution. Again, on the water, it's the 12, the 11, and the 8. And we'll check with the officials to see how they make, if there indeed is a call. And I'll be anxious to see the overhead video of how that one panned out. Because you're right, that almost was a mirror of what we saw in Guntersville.
Yep. last week.
Andrew Tate will now come down and he'll get the checkered flag to complete Heat 1B. Andrew Tate across the start finish right now. He'll complete Heat 1B.
Well, 2B. 9. 2A. 11. 2B. 8. 2A. 40. 2B. 1.
In the U40, a second place finish. I'm assuming now that he has his 2 heats, he will be good to go.
I haven't heard anything on the radio, but yes, I would think he should be okay to go wherever he wants to.
I would think so. And there is indeed, with only 2 boats, you're not horribly concerned with lane choice, but you are concerned. If you're Andrew Tate, you have 400 points in your pocket. That's great. If you're Dave Billwalk, you've got 300 points in your pocket, which is great too.
Yep.
So what's your strategy? So are you going to go out and run hard? Are you going to go out and run as hard as you can to try to finish? If you finish first, great. If you finish second, it's a pretty good consolation prize.
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, you're right. A good consolation. 300 points, you're still pretty good shape.
both of these guys are racers, and they're going to race. So
Sure. So we shall see as we are at 3:40 before the start as both boats headed to the upper corner.
up in turn 2 is Andrew Tate and Dave Billwalk. Billwalk coming off of turn 2, coming down the front straightaway. Tate going into turn 2. Billwalk under the bridge and down the front straightaway. The U40, Beacon Plumbing, past the Craig Toyota Body Shop, start-finish line. Had a nice run in his heat this morning, Heat 1A.
Yep. He's down in the lower corner.
Memorial, sponsored by Mark and Linda Wells-Ball.
Halfway through, and now Andrew Tate crossing the start-finish line.
They'll walk up the backstretch, and Tate going around the apex pin of 1. He'll come off the corner and head up towards Dave Billwalk. Billwalk will cut the course around the Grand Prix.
Billwalk cutting through the infield, back shoot to front shoot. That is a legal tactic.
He'll come through.
Yep. 223.
But he has to do it prior to the safety zone area.
Andrew Tate will go all the way up underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Here my spot. Tate under the bridge. Bill walked through one and up the back stretch. So under 2 to go before the start. If Dave Billwalk decides to slide through the Grand Prix course, yes, he will. He will slide through the Grand Prix course and try to cut in front of Andrew Tate to, well, looks like he's going to get, no, he's actually sliding outside.
Yeah.
So Dave Billwalk will slide outside with now a minute and a half to go. See what Andrew Tate decides to do.
He's going inside.
Well, it could be one of those situations of, no, you take it.
Yeah, no, you take it. Yeah. So Tate's going to have the inside spot, but he's going to be out away from the pins pretty good distance. We're at a minute 15 before the start. They're both in turn one now. Exiting turn one now is Tate. Billwalk already has. 2-1 mark, 1 minute. 1 minute, and Tate trying to pick up the pace. Still got plenty of time to kill, and I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, they come off the corner with just a little over a minute to go, and now as we hit just about 40 seconds at the bridge, now they may be
too early
with a little bit too much throttle right now. Still got a lot of weather, a lot of water, got good weather, a lot of water and a lot of time to get down. Now under 30 seconds to go.
We're down to 20. They're going to have to creep down the straightaway here. 15.
Yep, here we go. They come under the bridge.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. It's a good start. And it'll be Bernard. It'll be a Billwalk leading him across the line. Headed down to the lower corner. It's Billwalk on the outside. It's Tate on the inside. But there's Andrew Tate, the shorter way around. Hits a big hole down there, though. Scrubs off some speed. Still looking for Dave Billwalk. Can't find him.
He's in the rooster tail.
Yep, he's in the rooster tail. You're exactly right. Tate successfully negotiates the lower corner. Halfway up the back straightaway. He's got about a half a rooster tail lead.
He's got about a half a rooster tail lead over Dave Billwalk as they head up towards the Milton Madison Bridge. It's Tate on the inside, Billwalk on the outside. Billwalk trying to keep pace on the outside, get good water and keep the RPMs up. They hit the entrance pin of 2. It's Tate that turns left first. Billwalk will be right behind. He's just a couple of boat lengths behind now. There he shows his nose as they both come out just almost side by side. It is Tate off first, Billwalk off second. Under the bridge is Tate. Under the bridge is Billwalk. Towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line, it'll be Andrew Tate by now about 4 boat lengths as they cross start-finish.
Boats rocking back and forth, sponson to sponson as Tate gets down to the lower corner first. Billwalk on the outside, lap 2 of 3. There's Tate. See the spray of Billwalk, makes it through the corner just fine. Billwalk swings it wide, keeps the RPMs up. He's now about a rooster tail behind. It is Andrew Tate in the black and white. Graham Trucking with the lead, followed by Dave Billwalk and the Beacon Plumbing second.
Up towards the Milton Madison Bridge again. They'll come down and take the white flag. It is Andrew Tate that has stretched the lead out to just a little over a rooster tail as they head underneath the bridge. Billwalk still on the outside. Tate still on the inside. He'll turn left, will Andrew Tate. It'll be Dave Billwalk trying to close the gap to try to shorten up his turn. He actually comes out a little wider this time, does Billwalk. He's out in lane 4, and Tate will stretch the lead out as they come down to the start-finish line to take the white flag. It'll be Andrew Tate by a rooster tail and a half as they cross the start-finish line, completing lap number 2.
Ooh, a little air under the boat of the 12 there. Allows Billwalk to catch up a little bit. White flag lap one more time around as Tate will get down to the entrance pin first. He'll hang it on the hook, so will Billwalk. Tate will exit 1 now. Billwalk exits 1 now. It's still a rooster tail lead, and Andrew Tate halfway home on the final lap for another heat victory here in Madison.
after the way the Beacon Plumbing ran last weekend in Guntersville, they'll take what they get today, and indeed it's an improved performance from last weekend. But it's Andrew Tate looking to make it 2 heat wins in a row. He's underneath the bridge and up to the entrance pin of 2. Now Bill Walk underneath the bridge. He's about a rooster tail and a half behind. He's to the entrance pin of 2. Andrew Tate off the corner and down the Indiana side of the Ohio River. Tate will come down to the checkered flag and pick up another 400 points. Pending tech inspection. It is underneath the Milton Madison Bridge, the U12 Graham Trucking. And it's the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line for the victory for Andrew Tate. Second place, a couple of rooster tails behind to Dave Billwalk in the U40 Beacon Plumbing. 300 points for the Beacon Plumbing team. So a couple of second-place finishes for Bill Walker this afternoon. A couple of first-place finishes for Andrew Tate with another set of elimination heats to go. Tate with the win. Bill Walk with the runner-up position. Again, the U11 was a scratch in this Heat 2A. They are a scratch for 2A only. We'll have to find out what the issue is with the J&Ds, but Jamie Nielsen not able to come off the trailer and make the start. So we'll see what the problem is with the J&Ds, but it was a scratch for 2A only. So the boat's coming back to the dock area. With that, we'll step away, take a break, and come back with our post-race Heat 2A interviews as you listen to Madison Regatta coverage on Works 96.7.
Robertson were driving for back then.
Right.
Ted Porter,
right.
About, all right, do you try to double T? You try to put you and a boat between themselves? You know, it's hard to tell.
Right.
And we're inside 10 minutes before the start.
5 to the 5. So now we start to roll with things down on the dock. For Heat 2B, in case you missed it, Heat 2A was taken by Andrew Tate in the U12 Miss Graham Trucking. Second to...
You realize it's a futile effort.
I know. Second place was Dave Billwalk in the U40 Beacon Plumbing, and it did not start to the U11 J&Ds with Jamie Nielsen. And that was a scratch for the 11 just for 2A. Here on the judges stand, you play the sun as the day progresses. And you want the sun to not be directly hitting the broadcast equipment because direct sunlight, like it does from most objects, especially electronic objects, you want to keep it as cool as you can.
We restarted at 5 to the 5.
Huh. How about that?
So now we are inside 10 minutes. Somebody must not have their clock ready.
So now we're officially 9 minutes and 45 seconds away until the start.
2A has cleared the tech truck with no issues.
It has been essentially a tech clean for as little as been going on the water.
Yeah, and I go back to last weekend. I believe the only tech penalty we had was Corey Peabody in 3B last Sunday when he messed up.
Right.
And he was disqualified because he had a flagrant fuel flow violation.
Right. Yes.
That's pretty much the only time, I'm pretty sure, all weekend.
Yeah.
8 minutes, 55 seconds away, 8:55 away.
So, yeah, 2A is clean and 2B coming up. The 1, the 8, and the 9. 1, the 8, and the 9 coming up. Teammates, J. Michael Kelly and Corey Peabody, and also Jimmy Shane.
Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, but the big one is the Morgan Foods ACBA Gold Cup Final Heat here at the Madison Regatta.
This heat is the Jim McCormick Memorial.
Heard that just a little bit ago. Heat 2A was former Madison, in memory of former Madison Mayor Damon Welch, who passed away
Right.
2 years ago.
Yep. 28 years old. Being able to watch the ACBA Gold Cup for the very, very first time.
31-year-old Jimmy Shane, 42-year-old J. Michael Kelly, and 42-year-old Corey Peabody. I should know Peabody and Kelly are the same age. They went to school together.
Pardon me, yes. Same age as my brother.
Yep. Well, we are starting to get down to crunch time here for Heat 2B.
Coming up on 7:20 before the start.
4.2 gallons of gas can flow into that curve in 3 minutes when the boats are out on
They
the
start to clear the protective sun, the sunglasses, if you will, off the cockpit of the Pinnacle Peak Consulting of Corey Peabody.
In a 6,700-pound racing boat, 28-foot length, 14-foot wide. You have to know what is going on at all times.
They're getting ready to close the lid on Corey Peabody as the countdown continues. 3-boat heat.
6:40.
So a lot of work on the Grand Prix is going on down below us.
It is a tough thing to do.
They'll come up with their additional heats coming up in just a bit.
And I said, here, watch this. And they watched it, they realized, oh yeah, they couldn't just get in there and strap in and drive.
Rob Connett downstairs got something for us. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, Tim, talked to crew members of the U11 as they scratched in Heat 2A. They said it was a sponson that was damaged in the first heat race earlier this afternoon, so the team is grinding, trying to fix that sponson. They're hoping they will still be good for the final later today.
All right, thank you, Rob, very much. If anybody can do wonders with a grinder, it's Scott Rainey.
Scott Rainey,
So,
yep.
yeah, they're going to try to get things ready to go for the final. May not see him out in the third section.
Obviously, that wasn't an issue with any contact. It could have been hit a hole, could have hit a piece of debris. Not 100% sure on that, as we're at closing in on 5.5 now before the start of 2B.
Umbrella comes off of Jimmy Shane. They'll close the lid on him. Umbrella's off Corey Peabody. They'll close the lid on him.
Lid already closed on the 8.
Yep.
J. Michael Kelly.
15. We'll now hear from Howard Shaw with H1 Unlimited.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. 5 minutes and green flags on the course, and here we go.
Here we go indeed.
Jimmy Shane. J. Michael Kelly moving. And Corey Peabody moving. Everybody headed toward the Ohio River for the Jim McCormick Memorial Heat 2B. Kelly gets up on plane. J. Michael Kelly, or Jimmy Shane up on plane. J. Michael Kelly already on plane. Corey Peabody trying to do that. Pardon me now. Excuse me.
Well, as always, this 5-minute warm-up period will be rather interesting to see.
Yeah, well, we know we talk quite often about J. Michael Kelly's pinch hit for getting the inside lane, and Jimmy Shane not afraid to mix it up in there as well either.
And again, same scenario here we saw in the last heat. How hard do you want to run?
Yep.
How much do you want to lay out? Again, long day, still got another elimination heat to go after this one and the final. You got to make it to the final. You got to make it on the front row. You don't want to do anything silly. You just want to advance and make sure you're on the front row, the top row of that final field. You don't want to be one of the two trailers. You want to be up on the front line to try to do what you want to do in order to win the Gold Cup and this 111th running of the Gold Cup.
Everybody up to the upper corner. Well, that answers one of my questions. Is anybody going to cut the course early? But it's not just yet. J. Michael Kelly down, or Jimmy Shane, I should say, down. Across start-finish line. Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. J. Michael Kelly with 3 minutes to go. He is coasting across the start-finish line. Jimmy Shane hard into turn one. Corey Peabody, he's coming down at a pretty good clip, heading to the lower corner. Shane in and out of turn one. Kelly's picked up the pace, getting to the entrance pin now. Peabody down 240 before the start. And I would say if there's going to be any games, this is where it's going to start.
It'll start right now as J. Michael Kelly comes off the exit pin of one and goes up the backstretch. Corey Peabody will follow suit. Jimmy Shane up in front.
Headed up. Now, what's Kelly do?
We'll see. Will he go all the way up? Will he cut?
Yeah, no, he won't cut. Not yet.
Corey Peabody will go all the way up as well. I think if you're going to see somebody cut the course, it will be J. Michael Kelly coming down on this end this next time.
2 minutes.
With Jimmy Shane out in front of him. JMK can kind of pick and choose what he wants to do based on how much time he feels like he has to kill.
1 minute, 45 seconds until the start. 1:45 away.
Jimmy Shane coming down slowly.
Carol Myers family and Millennium Tool.
Yeah, I think at this pace, you can't afford to cut from front to back.
Yep. Here comes Jimmy Shane. Everybody running at about 80 mile an hour, give or take. Shane comes across start-finish line. J. Michael Kelly of the Tri-Cities comes across. You cut now? Yep, there he goes.
I think that's too early, though.
He's at 1 minute and 10 right now, and he's going to have to scrub off a lot of speed.
Absolutely.
He's got well
Corey Peabody cuts.
Oh, yeah, he does.
So Peabody and Kelly both cut, and I believe JMK is way early. Peabody's probably better. Jimmy Shane, I think, is in the catbird seat where he's at.
I would say so at just under 50 seconds, but again, J. Michael Kelly he has got all kinds of time to scrub up. Now, we've seen him before. He zigzagged before.
Yeah, he has. 35.
But the 80 mile an hour rule is not enforced right away. It's checked on the box with GPS after the heat.
25. So right now, Kelly in 1, Peabody in 2, Shane in 3. 20 seconds. Kelly's still early. He's out front, 14. Here we go, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, boy, it's close.
Boy, they hit it right on the
Oh,
back.
my. It's under review as Jimmy Shane leads him across. And J. Michael Kelly will have the inside. Corey Peabody caught in a wall of water in the middle of those two, but Kelly gets there first. There's Jimmy Shane trying to come out in lane number 3 as they're through turn 1. Here comes Peabody, but now Kelly starts to stretch the lead out a little bit as they're halfway up the back straightaway.
It is J. Michael Kelly by a couple of boat lengths as they head up towards the bridge. It'll be Kelly on the inside, Shane in 2. Peabody trailing by about 3 rooster tails coming back, and now it's J. Michael Kelly that'll lead him into turn 2. J. Michael Kelly, Jimmy Shane, 1 and 2. J. Michael Kelly hooked a little bit up in the corner, and Jimmy Shane comes out side by side with J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities. It is the Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street with the lead coming down the front straightaway. 1 lap down, 2 more to go. Jimmy Shane out of lane 3 across the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line.
You're exactly right. J. Michael cut a couple of rollers up there, but he's trying to close the distance on the inside of the course as we're on lap number 2. There's Shane. There's Kelly. Kelly's moved over, but Shane with a nice turn. Pretty good. J. Michael Kelly, yep, pretty good. It was a good start.
There you go.
So there you go. So Kelly and Shane hit it right on the money. And J. Michael Kelly, Rooster Tail behind, trying to catch up to Jimmy Shane. Corey Peabody through turn one on this end.
Up towards turn number 2, it is Jimmy Shane with a 1 Rooster Tail lead over J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities. It'll be Shane to the corner first. It will now be Kelly to the corner after that. It is Jimmy Shane cutting his turn down just a little bit. He'll cut the turn a little shorter this time, square it off. It'll be Jimmy Shane coming down the front straightaway. The white flag is out. He has stretched his lead out to 2 Rooster Tails now over J. Michael Kelly. Kelly's moved to the outside. Jimmy Shane will complete lap number 2 in the white flag. J. Michael Kelly in second. Corey Peabody in third.
Well, trying to get a little cleaner water is J. Michael Kelly. He's moved to the outside, but it's a longer way around. As Shane through the lower corner, looks pretty good. A couple of hops, but not too bad. Kelly down there right now hits a big hop, another big hop, but he successfully negotiates the lower corner. Corey Peabody crossing the start-finish line. He's into turn number 1, but Shane now stretching it out to 3 Rooster Tails running away with Heat 2B.
Started on the outside, did Jimmy Shane, but he had a good amount of power going through him and J. Michael Kelly with a good first lap duel, but it was Jimmy Shane taking over on lap 1 in corner 2. Shane into corner 2 for the final time. He'll come off the exit pin of 2 and come down towards the Great Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Shane off the corner. Now Kelly will come off the corner. Checkered flag is flying. It is Jimmy Shane coming down towards the insurance buoys in the U1. Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street, winner of Heat 2B. Second place to J. Michael Kelly in the U8, Miss Tri-Cities. And third place will be Corey Peabody in the U9, Pinnacle Peak Consulting. And you hit the nail right on the head in the first turn. Corey Peabody a little tardy at the start, and all he had when he got down to turn 1 was a whole lot of water to deal with.
Oh, my goodness. He looked up, and it was nothing but Rooster Tails in the first turn. And because of that, you're exactly right. He had to go outside. He didn't have anywhere to go.
So it's Jimmy Shane with the first place finish. He and Andrew Tate with a perfect weekend of heat so far this weekend. Second place to J. Michael Kelly. Third again to Corey Peabody. The Goodman Real Estate presents Home Street Bank, the Miss Tri-Cities, and the Pinnacle Peak Consulting 1, 2, and 3 respectively. As always, pending tech inspection.
Write it in pencil.
Write it in pencil indeed. So Shane will come down, a winner in Heat 2B. So with that, we'll step away and take a break, and we'll talk to the winning driver coming up. You'll listen to the 2021 APBA Gold Cup Madison Regatta presented by Nucor Madison here on Works 96.7.
Dr. Luke.
Finish here in this heat. What a race by the hometown boat here. And a big 300 points for J. Michael Kelly in the U.S. Tri-Cities, Jeff. Thank you, Jordan Bear. And the story, of course, was in the milling.
Sleepy Joe and his
performance from him today as J. Michael Kelly heads toward the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line as Tate and Peabody come out of 3 minutes before the start.
J. Michael Kelly in front of the start-finish line. Here comes Andrew Tate hustling down the front straightaway in the 12, the Graham Trucking. And Corey Peabody.
So everybody down the lower corner. J. Michael Kelly in and out of turn 1. Tate at the apex of the turn. Did you start this?
Yes.
You did. Okay. So coming down, Tate, Peabody in and out of turn 1. 220 before the start, and seen any shenanigans yet?
Not yet. Everybody's been looping around. We'll see what Andrew Tate does with J. Michael Kelly up underneath the bridge. And Tate will also go all the way up. Let's see what Corey Peabody does.
I think at this point you probably should go all the way.
All the way up at just less than 2 minutes to go before the start.
Now this is going to be interesting as both he and Tate, he being J. Michael Kelly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tate cut it right here past the start-finish line.
Wouldn't surprise me at all either.
I don't think J. Michael can. 140.
No, but I didn't think he could the last time, and he did.
That's true. Well, he's slowing down. Nope, he's going to go down. Now, let's see what Tate does with 126.
And Corey Peabody coming right up next to him as they cross the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line where Andrew Tate cut. Nope, they'll all go down through.
115. J. Michael might want to scrub off a little speed there.
Where was he at? Seattle a couple, 3 years ago, down the front straightaway trying to scrub off speed. Went from buoy line to insurance line.
And I believe they thought about calling something on him, but I don't think they
really
did.
Didn't necessarily have a rule in place to do that.
No,
because
I mean,
there was nobody else on the front straightaway.
Exactly. He was just trying to scrub off speed.
Yep.
So 50 seconds. Might be a little early again. Tate, it's hard to tell. I can't tell if Tate's going to be on the inside. I think Kelly's got to be on the inside.
I think Kelly's on the inside. Tate will be in 2 and Peabody in 3.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right as we get down to about a half a minute to go before the start.
Drones footage. Kelly in 1, Tate in 2, Peabody in 3. 25 seconds.
Bring it here to the start finish line, Billy.
J. Michael Kelly will come out a little deeper.
15.
Now, J. Michael will have to slow down as they get to the bridge.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark should be a good start, and it's the 2 silver boats and the black boat, red boat in the middle, as Kelly and Peabody will lead them across the line and head down into turn number 1, and they get down there into the first turn, and it's J. Michael Kelly in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities looking for somebody on the inside. There's Andrew Tate trying to close down. He's in the rooster tail, but he's okay, and they'll scream up the back straight away. It's Kelly, it's Tate, and it's Peabody. Actually, Peabody's in second.
Peabody in second, Tate in third. J. Michael Kelly will lead him up in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. About a half a rooster tail back to Corey Peabody in the U9. About 3 boat lengths back to Andrew Tate in the U12 as they get to the entrance pin of 2. J. Michael Kelly will lead him into 2. He's going to cut that turn close. He comes out right next to the exit pin. J. Michael Kelly with a great turn up in 2. Corey Peabody with a great turn. Andrew Tate with another good turn. And they come down the front straightaway. It'll be Andrew Tate leading them by about a half a rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly across the start-finish line, leader of lap number 1. Corey Peabody second.
Kelly, Peabody, Tate, end of lap 1. We're down to the lower corner again. And J. Michael Kelly, smooth ride. He's around.
J. Michael Kelly hooked the boat, but he came out right side up. He's trying to re-spool it. They're going to let him continue racing. As far as I know, it'll be the U9, the Pinnacle Peak Consulting with Corey Peabody. He will be in first place. 2 boat lengths back to Andrew Tate. Tate trying to catch up on the inside. J. Michael Kelly will re-spool the U8 Miss Tri-Cities.
I think he's got it going. So back to the top of the course.
It'll be Tate on the inside. It'll be Peabody on the outside. Corey Peabody trying to tighten the turn up. They're going to be a drag race to the start-finish line. It'll be Andrew Tate, Corey Peabody, white flag out. One more lap to go. It'll be coming down to start-finish. And Andrew Tate, Corey Peabody. It'll be Corey Peabody by a nose at the start-finish line.
Well, J. Michael Kelly's trying to get respooled. He's got back up on plane, but it's going to be interesting when they get over here. It's Peabody. It's Tate. They're catching up to J. Michael Kelly. He's trying to get out of the way, but Tate and Peabody are going to have to go outside of him, and because of that, Peabody has to swing wide, and Andrew Tate's going to be able to pick him up, and they're going to scream by J. Michael Kelly. It's Peabody by a half a boat length halfway up the backstretch on the final lap.
It is final lap. It is Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate side by side. J. Michael Kelly limping up the backstretch now, but they'll get to the entrance pin of two side by side. Checkered flag will wait for them when they get here. We'll see who makes the better turn. Peabody on the outside, Tate on the inside. I think Tate had a better turn. See how much boat speed they carry down to the start-finish line. They were both awful loose coming down last time. They're awful loose this time. They are side by side. It looks like Andrew Tate might have the better line. Andrew Tate will get the victory by a boat length.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What a race.
Andrew Tate at the finish line by a boat length over Corey Peabody, and this was J. Michael Kelly's heat to win, but the first turn, as it does here at Madison, came up and bit him. He was lucky to end up right side up with J. Michael Kelly, but he is going to have to go one more lap to finish third.
Yep. He needs to pick up those points.
Yes,
because
sir.
It could be extremely interesting of how things go playing out, because that'll be a second and 2/3 for J. Michael Kelly this weekend, as he is limping around the lower corner as Tate and Peabody are cooling down up there. What a race for them two.
It was indeed a race. When J.
Now,
we're almost ready to go racing here in Heat 3B.
2, 1, mark. 5 minutes. So we will have the 1 and the 40.
1 and the 40, and no 11 for the 3B sequence. There were two boat heat between Dave Billwalk and Jimmy Shane.
So that will pretty much take care of business for our final. If Jamie Nielsen can make it, he will be our trailer.
He will be the trailer.
So the 40, the 12, the 9, and the 1 will be on the front row.
Right.
And the 11 would be the trailer. But Jimmy Shane in the U1, Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank, looking to go a perfect 3 for 3. He and Andrew Tate would have 3 heat wins this weekend. And the 40 having issues again on getting the fuse lit. Same problem they had on yesterday.
Yep. Dustin Eccles will look at the front of the boat. Now they're going to point the nose out more towards the middle of the river, so maybe everything is a go. Oh, my, got a big fire. There goes Dave Billwalk.
All right.
Jimmy Shane in turn number 1 as we have boats, a 2-boat field coming out for Heat 3B. Jimmy Shane, Dave Billwalk. 67-year-old Dave Billwalk, 31-year-old Jimmy Shane.
3:25 before the start as Shane heads toward turn 1, turn 2. And Dave Billwalk on the lower corner.
What they're doing here is magic. I don't think you can put a price on somebody's smile. And for Scotty, the big...
Jimmy Shane up in turn 2 right now. Dave Billwalk going up the backstretch as we have less than 3 minutes to go before the start. Not going to be a whole lot of strategy here for either driver.
No.
They're both going to make it to the final heat. All you got to do is run a clean heat, bring it back to the dock as Dave Billwalk goes through the infield in the U40 Beacon Plumbing.
I think this heat will be more about where do I want to run than the final.
Right. A learning experience, if you will, to figure out what you want to do coming up at 5:30.
And Jimmy said they had a strategy going into heat 2. Might have been, hey, let's go outside.
Yeah.
And sure enough, of course, Jay Michael was inside like he likes to be. And he said, we just wanted to see what our combatants would do, and they did exactly what we thought they'd do.
Right.
So there you go.
Take that for what it's worth.
That's right. So 2:05 before the start. Shane up the backstretch. Billwalk up the backstretch. They'll probably go all the way, I would think.
I would say. I don't know if Billwalk will or not. Nope. He's going to cut the infield. Dave Billwalk doesn't want to run all the way up through the upper turn.
To mess up some water again, and Billwalk is so good at doing. I think this is practice coming up for the course.
So Dave Billwalk through the infield and down the front straightaway with a minute and a half left to go before the start.
So Billwalk headed towards turn 1. Jimmy Shane just now crossing the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. And we're headed to the lower corner. Let's see what happens.
Like Dave Billwalk will kind of hang outside. He looks like he's in 2. We'll see if Jimmy Shane will go inside or outside of him.
Well, our good friend Dave Campbell, Dave Billwalk, all these years doesn't like lane 1 here.
No, he does not. No, and he's won for about every lane.
Oh, well. Yeah. So, yep, that's what we're going to have. We're going to have Shane on the inside and Billwalk on the outside as we head to the upper corner, as we are now at 45 seconds.
Just looking to run it and bring it back to the dock and get ready for the final. Under 40 seconds to go before the start. And again, it'll be Shane on the inside, Billwalk on the outside as they approach the Milton Madison Bridge. 30 seconds before the start.
I think we're pretty good.
Yep. And it will be off the corner for Shane at 15 seconds. They'll head to the bridge at about 10 seconds. And here we go. Shane on the inside, Billwalk on the outside. They've got it down. They're coming to the line. It looks like it could be a pretty good start, and it is.
Yep.
It'll be Jimmy Shane that'll carry good boat speed down to corner number 1. Shane will be there first. He'll go in first. Shane will be there around the apex, around the exit pin, and up the backstretch. Dave Billwalk about a half a rooster tail back now as they come off the corner. It'll be Shane up the backstretch, and then Billwalk to follow. About 7 or 8 boat lengths ahead now for Jimmy Shane as he heads up towards the bridge. It'll be Jimmy Shane and then Dave Billwalk. He'll stretch it out to about 3/4 of a rooster tail, will Shane, as they go underneath the Milton Madison Bridge on lap number 1 of 3. Final elimination heat before we get to the final. Shane up in corner number 2 in the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Off the corner and down the front straightaway. Billwalk going wide out in lane number 4 off of corner number 2. It'll be Shane off the corner and down underneath the bridge. He stretched that lead out to about a rooster tail and a half. It'll be Jimmy Shane, lap 1 down, 2 more to go, in the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street.
It is Jimmy Shane headed toward turn 1 for the second time. Dave Billwalk, as Tim mentioned, about a rooster tail and a half behind as he'll get down to the lower corner again for lap number 2. And the apex looks pretty good. Exit pin looks pretty good. Same thing for Dave Billwalk. He will successfully negotiate the lower corner as well on lap number 2. It's still Jimmy Shane, followed by Dave Billwalk. The margin now about 2 rooster tails.
Rooster tail, or the Beacon Plumbing really riding high in the water. Dave Billwalk walking it back and forth from sponson to sponson as he has all day long down the front straightaway. It'll be Shane under the bridge and to the entrance pin of corner 2. He's there now. Dave Billwalk trails. He is now to the entrance pin of 2. Shane off the exit pin. He's coming out in about lane number 3. He's off the exit pin and down underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. It's the Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. They come down towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. White flag out for Jimmy Shane. 2 rooster tail lead for the U1 as he crosses start-finish. Dave Billwalk He comes across start finish right now in the U40 Beacon Plumbing.
Last time to the lower corner. Ooh, a big hop for Dave Villwalk coming down the front stretch, but he'll bring it back down. Shane in and out of turn one, pretty good. Villwalk, same thing, in and out of turn one, and he's going to make a move. Yeah, he sure is. He's really pedaling that thing. It's down to just a rooster tail now. See what happens in the upper corner.
It'll be Jimmy Shane now by a rooster tail over Dave Villwalk. Villwalk trying to make a heat of it, and I've seen Villwalk race enough times to know the final lap for him, if he's trailing, is where he makes his move. Villwalk still around a rooster tail back of Jimmy Shane. Shane has him covered, but needs to make sure he's got that yellow and black boat in his rearview mirror where it's a safe bet that he's going to come home with a victory to make it 3 in a row. Shane off the corner, underneath the bridge, down towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. It is Jimmy Shane making it 3 up and 3 down for the U1. Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. First place in Heat 3B. Second place to Dave Villwalk in the U40, Miss Beacon Plumbing. They started, they finished, no incidents, everybody was clean. Now we can get ready for the final.
Absolutely, they'll bring it back around.
Pollock, the Farmers Bank of Milton, Craig Toyota Body Shop, Chandler Chevrolet, Arvin Sango, Madison Auto Service Center, and Steinhardt Heating and Cooling. Also our Hydro race sponsors, Suntime Printing, Anderson Sales and Service, the Farmers Bank of Milton, and Super Shine Auto Detailing and Window Tinting. As our countdown continues.
6:20 before the start. Also want to thank Craig Toyota Body Shop for sponsoring the start-finish line. Our Super Shine Auto Detailing and Window Tinting broadcast location, powered by Metronet. Want to thank the Rivertown Grill for lunch today and for snacks yesterday. Want to thank Raisin Blazin' Barbecue in Bedford for lunch yesterday. Want to thank Young Screen Printing in Owenton for T-shirts yesterday.
And Fizza Screen Printing
for our T-shirts today.
World Cup T-shirts today.
Get the official countdown coming up here very shortly with H1 Unlimited and their official Howard Shaw.
And I see
5:40.
I see a piece of wood in the front straightaway.
Well, they were asking about safety and rescue is in the course down here on the upper corner, right before the entrance pit at 2. They wanted to know what they were doing, and they were fishing a log out. So they are almost off the course, and there's a small piece, as you mentioned, just past the start-finish line with 5:20.
111th ACBA Gold Cup, sponsored by Morgan Foods. Stand by for countdown.
Again, we appreciate you tuning in on Works 96.7 FM, WORX, or online at WORXradio.com. I'm Travis Calvert. That's Tim Torrance. 3, 2, 1. Mark. 5-minute period is underway as we'll race for the gold and the Indiana Governor's Cup.
Here we go.
As the 40 starts to smoke again.
They are smoke screening the Graham Trucking guys who are right behind them.
So the 12 out, the 1 out, the 11 out, 12:40, waiting on the 9. And Jimmy Shane headed to turn 1. Jamie Nielsen, Dave Villwalk, Andrew Tate, and Corey Peabody. as everybody on their feet on both sides of the river as the 111th APBA Gold Cup final heat is 4 minutes away right now. Everybody on the lower end of the course down in turn number 1. Jimmy Shane headed up the backstretch. Dave Villock headed up that way. Jamie Nielsen, Andrew Tate, Corey Peabody just getting into turn number 1 right now. 3:40 to go.
Jimmy Shane underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Jamie Nielsen to follow, Andrew Tate to follow, Dave Villock to follow, and Corey Peabody to follow as well. Everybody, nope, there goes Dave Villock. He'll buzz through the infield and come over to the front stretch.
He has not gone to turn 2 during a milling period all day.
You never know what the crafty guy is thinking.
No, and he doesn't want the inside, so
he hasn't had it all day. Don't expect him to have it now. The Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street coming down in front of the start-finish line right now. The Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line. Jamie Nielsen, who will be the trailer boat, comes in front of the start-finish line, as does Andrew Tate as well. Everybody down to corner number 1. Corey Peabody up in corner number 2.
Dave Villock headed up the backstretch. Jimmy Shane in turn 1. There is Andrew Tate. There is Jamie Nielsen. So everybody but Corey Peabody headed up the backstretch. Nope, and Dave Villock going to cut the Grand Prix course. And then down to turn 1 again with 2:20 to go.
2:20 to go. Jimmy Shane will head all the way up towards the bridge. Here comes Corey Peabody by start-finish. Jamie Nielsen goes up.
Andrew Tate going to head up.
Andrew Tate will indeed head up as well. Dave Villock through turn 1. Whoop. Let's see. Somebody will cut the course. That is Corey Peabody.
Yep.
Now let's see what Dave Villock does. Here's going to be an interesting scenario. He's going to go to the infield again.
Yeah, here he comes.
This is Chris and his Capital One Venture X business card.
Straight away.
Oh, boy. Okay.
He gave Jimmy Shane enough room.
Yep.
Of course, if you're going to cut through the infield, the boat on the front straightaway has the right-of-way.
Correct. He's going to move over.
Minute and a half.
Jimmy may want to get one.
There's Jamie Nielsen. There's Andrew Tate. Corey Peabody all the way up in corner number 2. He'll come down and I'm sure cut the course prior to turn 1.
Well, Jimmy Shane looks like he's going to try to sneak in there on lane 1, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Dave Villock, the crafty veteran, looking like lane 2, but we're going to have to slow down because we're way early at 1 minute. So we are at 1 minute before the start of the Gold Cup final. Villock leads them down up the backstretch. Then it's Shane. Nielsen's going to have to slow down. He's got to be the trailer. And Corey Peabody cuts the course, and Andrew Tate coming up behind everybody at 45 seconds.
At 45 seconds up the backstretch. Clock continues to wind down. Corey Peabody will come up and catch up with the field. And again, Jamie Nielsen has to start right behind the field. We are at 25 seconds before the start. Everybody goes to turn 2. They start to fan out up in turn 2. It'll be Shane in 1, Villock in 2, Tate in 3. On the outside is Peabody in 4. We're at 11 seconds. They underneath the bridge, 9 seconds. Hopefully they're not too early.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, looks like a clean start, and we're racing in the final as Dave Villock will lead him across. It is a good start. We're headed to turn number 1. The first boat to get out here is going to be Jimmy Shane in the U1 Home Street. Hits a hole that allows Villock to catch up, and he makes it through all right. Jimmy Shane in the Home Street. The Goodman Real Estate presents the Home Street. Everybody else in the wake behind him, they make it through the first turn all right. But it's Shane leading the pack up the backstretch.
Jimmy Shane by about 2 boat lengths over Dave Villock. Back to Corey Peabody, and also back to Andrew Tate. He's lost in the Rooster Tail as 3 go into turn 2. Almost side by side. It'll be Shane there first. We'll see if somebody peeks their nose out. Shane's got the course under control now off of corner number 2. It'll be Shane. It'll be Tate. Where's Vilwalk? There he is. He's falling back. It'll be Jimmy Shane underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. They're running 5 this time. First time all weekend they've ran that many. Andrew Tate trying to run down Jimmy Shane. It'll be Shane on the inside, Tate on the outside. Shane by about 3 boat lengths as they cross the start-finish line. Here is Corey Peabody. Dave Vilwalk has fallen off the pace.
Dave Vilwalk, I believe, has been assessed a 1-minute penalty for encroachment. Jimmy Shane back to the front of the field, though. Boy, it's rough down there in turn number 1, but he'll make it through, which will allow Andrew Tate to close the gap. He's close to within 3 boat lengths on the outside. Corey Peabody makes it real wide on the outside. As Vilwalk slows to 4th, Nielsen in 5th. But at the front of the field, Jimmy Shane has extended the lead now by a half a Rooster Tail on lap 2.
He's trying to hold lane 1 down, but it's really, really rough down in turn number 1. They're on lap number 2. It'll be Shane up to the bridge, and he leads Andrew Tate by about a half a Rooster Tail. Shane into turn 2. It'll be Shane coming off the exit pit of 2 towards the Craig Toyota Body Shop start-finish line, coming down the front straightaway, running right into the wind, coming up the river. It'll be Jimmy Shane coming down to complete lap number 2. 2 down, 5 to go. It'll be Jimmy Shane in the U1 Goodman Real Estate Home Street Bank, and Andrew Tate losing the tail feathers on the back of the Graham truck.
You're exactly right, and that'll affect it a little bit, so we'll have to see what happens as we're on lap 3, and there it just flew off. The back feathers, the back wings of the 12 just flew off as Jimmy Shane hits a really rough hole down in turn number 1. Andrew Tate steers clear of it. He's pedaling for all he's worth up at the back straightaway, trying to catch Jimmy Shane. Corey Peabody, he smooth ride through turn 1. And we look down, Jamie Nielsen has passed Dave Vilwalk, but it's a Rooster Tail length lead for the Home Street U1.
Jimmy Shane in the Home Street Bank as Andrew Tate tries to reel him in without any tail feathers. Dave Vilwalk in 5th place now. It'll be Shane up to the second corner. He'll get there first. Andrew Tate, a Rooster Tail behind in second. About 3 Rooster Tails back to Corey Peabody. Shane off the corner. They'll come down and complete lap number 3 of 5. Underneath the Milton Madison Bridge, Jimmy Shane, he'll move out away from the buoys a little bit, try to find a little bit smoother water. It is Jimmy Shane coming down, a Rooster Tail up, 3 up, 2 more to go. It is Shane. It is Tate across the start-finish line. Down to turn 1 again.
Yep, and you're right. Jimmy Shane has moved out away from the buoy line to try to get some cleaner water, and he will tiptoe his way through the lower corner. A much better ride that time on lap 4. But boy, Andrew Tate has got the pedal to the metal. He is trying to catch Jimmy Shane. He is closing, and then he'll fall back. Jimmy said that he had great cornering speed this weekend. But back to 3rd. Corey Peabody is in good shape. Here comes Nielsen. Dave Vilwalk in 5th, but another lap and a half for Jimmy Shane.
Up to the bridge goes Jimmy Shane. He's got a Rooster Tail lead over Andrew Tate. Shane into turn 2. Dave Vilwalk running on the outside. It'll be Shane coming out of the turn first. It'll be Tate coming out of the turn second. They'll come down to take the green flag. They'll lap Dave Vilwalk. They'll get the white flag for Shane, and it looks like Andrew Tate has fallen back to 2 Rooster Tails down. Oh, he gets real high, does Jimmy Shane. He'll cross the start-finish line. Tate now in second by about a Rooster Tail and a half down. Final turn on lap number 5 for Jimmy Shane.
Yep.
He'll try to tiptoe his way through turn number 1 again. He'll get through the turn, off the exit pin, up the backstretch. It'll be Andrew.
My father founded St. Jude Children's Research Hospital because he believed no child should die in the dawn of life. In 1984, a patient named Stacy arrived, and it began her family's touching story that is still going on today.
Childhood cancer. It's just hard. Stacy passed on Christmas Day of 1986. There is no pain like losing a child, but St. Jude gave us more years to love on her.
Andrew Tate, looks like Tate may have moved a little closer to the Rooster Tail of the U1, but it's about a Rooster Tail and a half now for Jimmy Shane. About 3 Rooster Tails back. That's Dave Vilwalk in 5th, but the leader is on the final lap as he'll head up towards the Milton Madison Bridge. Travis, bring him home.
And it's exactly right. Jimmy Shane with 1 more turn to go to bring home his 5th Gold Cup victory in his career. He'll hang it on the hook, on the apex of turn number 2. He'll go out way wide, and he will come down. As Andrew Tate slides inside, it is going to be the U1 with a big hop right there. He's got less than 1,000 feet to go. Your 2021 APA Gold Cup champion, Jimmy Shane, at the Home Street Goodman Real Estate.
Second place to Andrew Tate in the U12 Graham Trucking with no tail feathers on. It'll be back to third place to Corey Peabody in the U9 Pinnacle P.
Opportunity to qualify, so under a special commissioner's option they are permitted into the field, but they've been working on it. It looks like it's tuned up and ready to go. This is a fast course, and I think the most important thing, Jim, it's a home course for a lot of these drivers. They want to come out here and do especially well in front of their hometown fans. This is going to be a great race today.
Down in the pits we have our cohort, of course, Doug Ford. Doug?
Thanks, Jim. Though all the damage has been repaired, the bad news is there's more damage to follow. The Frosted Flakes was damaged in a trial run. Fortunately, the crew is based right here in Seattle. The Budweiser crew working with them are thrashing, getting this boat ready for Heat 1B. Even the owner, Bob Hughes, is right in here helping dry the composite they're laying on to seal the boat up. It's going to be fast, it's going to be furious, but the boat will be ready for Heat 1B. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Doug. We're all set to go. 12 of the fastest race boats in the world here on Lake Washington. We'll have it all for you in just a moment.
Nothing beats a winning team, pushing hard, reaching for the dream. Nothing beats clean, crisp and cold. Got the king of beers, you're on a roll. Nothing beats a Bud. Budweiser.
She's won 11 world championships and the 1990 Gold Cup. She's Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser.
Nothing beats a Bud.
Welcome back to Seattle, Washington, and unlimited hydroplane racing this year. There's been some changes in the format. It's been a little controversy. We went to the drivers and asked, how do you like it?
I think we're providing a heck of a show for the fans. It's proven to be a real winner with the press and the fans, and our new sponsors are recruiting to the sport. I just would like to see the top qualifier get his pick of the lane. That's the way it's done in auto racing, and we're going to talk about it in November. We're going to run it through Honolulu this year, and it's going to be a great show. But if we put a little more into either qualifying or dicing in the hands of the drivers, well, it'll be a better show yet.
Well, it's an interesting concept. I am from the old school of boat racing. I got used to the old style, but we'll go with this one. I'm having fun. It's, like I say, again, an interesting concept, and it seems to be working. It really pleases the fans, so that's what counts.
The new format is very interesting so far. We've raced 4 races with the new format. Being that I've been racing now for 22 years, and most of those years we're running under the old format, I'm a little bit pro for the old format, but the spectators really do like the new format, and we do have some bugs to work out of it, but I think it's going to work out fine.
Well, I think it's great for the fans. It's good for the sport. I mean, this is a spectacular event, and we're here to put on a show. A lot of people pay a lot of money to come to these things. Sponsors spend a lot of money to put on a good show, so that's what we're here to do, and I really feel it's put on a better show. But as far as a driver or crew standpoint, it's a lot harder on us, but that's our job. You know, we'll go on to put on a show, and, you know, the act just gets a little bit tougher, but we're just going to have to suffice.
Gets a little tougher and a little wilder. The Miss Budweiser you see there on the right of your screen has been involved in a couple of crashes under the new format. Jim's with the owner of that boat.
Well, here's a guy that has to be wondering, after 2 straight races of playing Dodgem cars and getting your boats banged up, is this one ready to go?
Well, yeah, Jim, as you've seen here this week, we set a new record qualifying, and Miss Budweiser's ready. The crew worked around the clock, and quite a few volunteers pitched in to help, and but it's back together. At least one of them is, and we'll hope that this will survive here today.
We're ready now for Heat 1A. UR5, Ed Shunan Harbor, Todd Yarling in lane number 1. Lane 2 is the Pepsi American Spirit, Mark Evans driving the U50. Lane 3 is the Winston Eagle with Mark Tate, the U10. Lane 4 is the Super Range Golf Boat, George Woods Jr., the driver. That's the U8. In lane number 5, the U12, Miss Budweiser, Scott Pierce, the driver of the boat. And in lane number 6, the U24, oh boy, Alberto Pork Jerky, Mike Egret is the driver.
And Mike is the closest to the shore. He's the pace boat on this flag start. Are they lined up? Referee takes a look, looking for the green flag. Here it comes. The race is on. Out of lane number 3, shoots the Winston Eagle down to corner number 1.
Out of lane number 5, the Miss Budweiser has come up on the outside of the Winston Eagle. Mark Tate trying to hold him off. It's going to be tight through that turn, but you can see Miss Budweiser getting a little bit of light on the outside, trying to stay just on the edge of that rooster tail. Jim will point out again that rooster tail can be like a weapon out there. It's equivalent to something like 7 tons of water coming off of that boat. So the Miss Budweiser wants to ride on the edge but not catch any of it because it could literally throw the boat over. You can see the Miss Budweiser coming up now about a boat length behind the Winston Eagle in second place.
Mark Tate is the leader in high points for driver championship coming into this event by 614 points. But he has an extra race under his belt over Scotty Pierce, who did not compete in Hawaii for the point.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just had terrible internet issues? They were blurry, they
race last November.
Mark Tate getting very light coming out of the turn. Second place is the Miss Budweiser, Scott Pearson. And third, it is Mark Evans in the American Spirit boat. Now you can see the Miss Budweiser coming up on the outside. They're just about even Steven as Mark Tate pushes the Winston Eagle just a little bit harder. Got a little bit light, but look at the Miss Budweiser. She's got a little bit of rough water on the outside. A great aerial shot to show you how this course looks and how the boats are negotiating. You can see at the very top of your screen the 2 boats just about side by side. So far, Mark Tate has held off the challenge of the Miss Budweiser.
Here on lap number 2, watch Mark Tate take the Winston Eagle into corner number 3. He hangs it on the hook, and up comes a second rooster tail. And that's a lot of water, Dick, as he comes down to complete lap number 2 of 5.
A little bit better control that time around. As you can see, the Miss Budweiser has dropped back several boat lengths on it now, but don't discount him yet. He's got a ways to go. It's a 5-lap race. We're just completing lap number 2. So Scott Pierce, if he sees good water ahead of him, has plenty of power to punch it right up there and try to race him again. But for the moment, it is the Winston Eagle boat holding on to first place, the Miss Budweiser in second, and you see the third place boat just going into the turn now from the aerial shot. That is the Pepsi American Spirit boat Mark Evans is driving.
Looking around this course, look at that log boom jammed with thousands and thousands of spectators. Over 300,000 people here around this 2-mile oval, Lake Washington, Seattle today.
And the lake is being churned up royally by this boat, the Winston Eagle. He had a bit of a challenge early on from the Miss Budweiser. Miss Budweiser is still not out of it as they come down to complete lap number 3. Scott Pierce may be just looking for the opening. At the same time, he's got several more races to go today. You can see there where he's dropped back, just coming into the turn. At the top of your screen, he doesn't want to rip up the equipment early. He's got an engine that's working well. He knows that he can ride up even with a Winston Eagle. He may wait for the challenge in the next race, which will be coming up shortly. But for the moment, Mark Tate knows also that he had a challenge early on. He's got to be testing this water out, testing the boat out. And Jim, he really hasn't let off it at all. He's kept the speeds high.
He's averaging over 140 mile an hour on this 2-mile course. The boat and the crew and the owner from Seattle, the driver driver Mark Tate from the Detroit, Michigan area.
They complete lap number 4, and again they are approaching 140 miles an hour, which looks like it'll be somewhere in that area for the average speed. And of course, that's on this boat, the Winston Eagle. They have really had a season in this boat and has really run well under the guy who was Rookie of the Year in the unlimited hydroplane racing last year. And for him to come up and move into this kind of equipment and put this kind of a challenge all season long, Mark Tate is obviously an up-and-coming young driver who's really got his head together. And I think he is gluing perfectly with the pit crew because they really are having a good time racing the boat. There you can see he was passing up one of the slower boats on the inside. Mark Tate this time taking a wider berth to stay out of its way.
This should be the checker flag lap now. We're looking at our second place, Miss Budweiser. We'll pick up 30 points here. Here's your 40-point winner, the Winston Eagle coming down.
A good way to start the day for Mark Tate. I know owner Steve Wimmer has got to be happy about it. One boat went down and did not finish. That was the Old Boy Pork Jerky boat. And the Winston Eagle, it went by it just as he came around the final lap. There you see Mike Egret. He has popped the hatch.
And there's the happy owner, the Winston Eagle owner, Steve Boomer, who's having a lot of fun this year. He said, this is a great year of racing, and he's right. Winston Eagle, Miss Bud, Pepsi American Spirit, Edge Hoonan Harbor, Old Boy Alberto did not finish. Let's go to the winner's circle.
Well, Mark, right off the line, I mean, you served notice.
Well, the Winston Eagle was well prepared for the race. The crew did a good job preparing the boat after last weekend, and we got the first wind heat under our belt, and hopefully this is a good day for better things to come.
Steve, I got to tell you, he got his favorite lane. No, 3 is where it's at, he says.
Well, yeah, in fact, at the draw yesterday, he thanked him for lane 3, so we were real happy, and the boat's running really good. The Winston Eagle, the crew's done a tremendous job, and of course, what do I say about Mark? Can't say enough good about him. He's by far the best driver here.
More action on the Rainier Cup in Seattle after this timeout. Back in 1966, and if you can believe that's 25 years ago already, Batman was the #1 TV show with Adam West. The rage of the nation, the Beatles. And that was also the start of the career of one Jim Harvey in boat racing. Now the Beatles, they've broken up. Batman in syndication, but Jim Harvey still stays. And the strange part about it, when he started out in 1966 with the Bob Gilliam racing team, Hilton Hyperlube was his sponsor. Guess what? We've come full circle. Guess who his sponsor is? You got it, Hilton Hyperlube. He's respected in the sport. He's worked very hard. Let's check the pits and his peers and get an insight on a guy called Jim Harvey.
25 years, I can't believe it. I've been here 8 years in the sport, and Jim Harvey's one heck of a guy. He's always cooperative, helps other people out, intense, and he loves the sport.
Well, I knew Jim Harvey for all 25 years that he's been in the sport. Started off as just one of the crew, worked himself up to be crew chief. Now he worked himself to be owner, and now he's really in trouble. But he's always helped everybody in the sport, and I always wish Jim the best.
Speaking about Jim Harvey, I got a little story to tell you. Jim used to be my assistant crew chief. I think he grew up working on the Miss Budweiser. Did an outstanding job. But the funniest part about his job that he did for me was he said he always wanted to be a Bernie Little. I told him he never would. But he's coming on strong, and I love him.
I haven't been around for 25 years with Jim Harvey, but I can remember back several years ago when we called him 5 to the 5 Harvey. It was kind of one of those things where 5 minutes to the 5 minute gun, Harvey was on go, and he had the team all fired up, and we were running around in little circles, and we got in the water, and we always did very well.
And one who knows him not maybe that long, but pretty well is his driver, Steve David. You're used to working with the guy this year, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Jim is super to work with. The guy's got 25 years experience in the sport. He's been with a lot of teams and knows it inside out. It's kind of been really fatherly to have him around. Just a great family guy and gives me a lot of spirit when I get in the boat.
With 25 years of experience, Jim Harvey has been a national champion as a crew chief. He's won races as an owner. In 1989, he was honored as the URC's Man of the Year. And speaking of those years, 25 years, what's the difference when you started to present day?
Well, when we started, I had to buy my own uniform, and they slapped a vinyl decal on the back, and that made me an honorary team member. And today, they sew it on your back. So that's the main difference, and we're not crawling in the oil that we had in those days. Running the turbine engines are much cleaner and much more efficient.
And actually, the enclosed cockpits have made a tremendous difference.
Oh, definitely. I've been 25 years. We've lost a lot of close friends and acquaintances in the sport. And every time you think, what can we do next to keep this from happening again? And it took the evolution of the cockpit, and we can all sit back and talk about it now.
You love the sport, and you've dedicated your life to it. Any regrets?
None at all. None at all. I'm here. I enjoy it. I plan to be here for a very, very long time.
A couple of days ago, Doug Ford had a chance to talk to one of the drivers involved in a crash recently. He can tell you about safety in these boats.
Mike Hansen, the last time I saw you, you were flat on your back in an ambulance. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fine. Thanks to the URC and all these safety regulations we have with the enclosed cockpit and all that, I could have walked away from the thing, didn't get a scratch on me, and the rescue divers, they did a fabulous job. It's a miracle I'm here, but we'll be out there tomorrow or Sunday and go race with these guys.
Let's talk about racing now on Heat 1B. In the U7 Misco Bowling, Jerry Hopp will be driving. In the Oh Boy Oberto Beef Jerky, Mitch Evans. The U3. Lane number 3, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, the man you just met, Mike Hansen, the U6. Lane number 5 will be the U2 Hyperlubes T Plus with Stephen David. And lane number 4, the U99, the KISW Miss Rock, Jack Barry. And in the U19, the KMPS Jackpot Food Mart boat, Ken Muscatel.
They get the green flag, and we're off to the races here in Heat 1B as they head down.
I love better.
Which of course is lined by thousands of people on the log boom that they actually, they rent this space to watch the race every year, and it's a great race. Look at this aerial shot, Dick.
Boy, tight action as they head down into turn number 1, and that's always the danger turn on any course. The KISW Miss Rock, Jack Barry, did not take a start in this race. As they come down the back chute right now, it is going to be tight quarters for all of these boats, and they're still testing out the water in lap number 1. In the lead, it is the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat. Mike Hansen, who you met just earlier. As we told you, Mike had been in a crash in that boat. Just the last race in Tri-Cities. They brought it into Seattle. He had more problems with it overnight. They've got it fixed and it's out there. Second place, Mitch Evans had a little bit of a problem. That's going to cost him. He lost the speed, and it was just a fraction of a second, but it was enough for the Hyperloops Plus, Stephen David, to take over second place in the turbine boat. So now your leader is the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, followed by Hyperloops Plus, and then Oh Boy Alberto Beef Jerky with Mitch Evans. A great aerial shot to show you the boats as they come through the turn.
As we look at an aerial shot, you can see the Hyperloop T Plus. In second place, we're looking at the fourth place boat, Ken Muscatel in the Jackpot Food Mart. Misco Bowling and Jerry Hopp's boat did not start, and the Miss Rock with Jack Barry also failed to heed the call for here in Heat 1B. So, we have 4 boats in action as we look at our leader going down the back chute.
A good ride for Mike Hansen, and I'll tell you, that crew really deserves it after all they've done to keep that boat in the water and get it here for the race today. Now he can kind of settle back a little bit. He has to be concerned mainly with one boat. That's Stephen David right behind him in the Hyperloops Plus. But so far, Stephen David has been satisfied with second place. These guys don't want to rip up the equipment. You can see Stephen closing in just a little bit. He's about 3 boat lengths behind, but your leader is in a clean field of water, and that is the Mike Hansen boat, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. A little bit of a battle it looks like out there, but in reality, the yellow boat on the outside is being passed up by Mitch Evans on the inside. The yellow boat is the Jackpot Food Mart, Ken Muscatel. There you see Mitch Evans. He is riding in third.
Mitch Evans has one of the few piston boats left on the circuit. A turbocharged Allison. As we look at this course with the skyline of downtown Seattle over Lake Washington. As we look at our leader coming down, this should be the checker flag lap. And it'll be a good comeback for this boat that was flat on its back last week in Tri-Cities, Washington.
Mike Hansen and the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat will look around for the green flag as he comes down by the starter's tower this time around. Third place and still running solid out there is the piston-powered boat known as the Oh Boy Alberto Beef Jerky. And he's having a fine ride. Mitch Evans, that is, driving that boat. Second place is Hyperloop's T+. Steve David, all of these boats now coming down to enter into the green flag lap, which signifies just one lap to go. I think at this point, Jim, it's safe to say they're going to hold their positions. They're going to finish it out. There's a lot more racing to go this afternoon. And again, they don't want to rip up the equipment. They're going to be happy with their positions.
As we look at our leader, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, down at an aerial shot down near the floating bridge. In corners number 3 and 4, the checker flag is waiting. He's averaging close to 130 mile an hour. He's backed off, knowing that he's got a good leg up on this first place finish in Heat 1B.
Well, we keep alluding to the fact that this boat has been under repair all week long. Even when they brought it into Seattle and put it in the water, it broke again, and they had to get it back out. And as you saw at the beginning of the show, they were still drying the compound on the boat on the inside of the back sponsons. Now they have the boat out, and now the boat is going to come down for the checkered flag. The Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, this boat should, if everything holds together on it, take second place. And, of course, third place would go to Mitch Evans in the Old Boy Alberto Beef Jerky. And I think he'd be happy with that. It gives him a good position. It gives him good points into the final field if he can make it through one more race this afternoon. So Mitch Evans has got to be happy with the way the boat is performing. They really have had a very good year with that boat. It has been very, very consistent.
Right now, we're waiting for our leader. Here he is. The Kellogg's Frosted Flakes will come down to take the checker flag and win Heat 1B.
Mike Hansen sees the checkered flag flying high atop the starting tower. He acknowledges it with a brief wave from the cockpit. He continues across the start-finish line to make it official. His crew is not going to get particularly wild about it. They've got a way to go. There you can see Hyperloop's T+ second, Old Boy Alberto Beef Jerky third. Jackpot Food rounds out the field. Jim?
After you're upside down here a week ago, how'd that feel?
Oh, well, upside down didn't feel good at all, but this felt real good. It was nice to get back in the boat and get a couple laps under our belts, and we were fortunate enough to get a decent lane and came out of the first turn first and never really had to look back much.
Bob Hughes, you had some apprehension.
Oh, my. We worked awful hard, the guys, the crew, and Mike. Mike got hurt worse working on the boat than he did in the accident in the Tri-Cities, but the guys put in about 800 hours this week with a lot of help from the Budweiser team and all the other teams around, the Winston, Ron Jones Marine, and we're just thankful we could get back here for the Seattle fans and especially for our sponsor, Kellogg's.
And we'll get back to more racing with the Eagle Snacks Unlimited Hydroplane Series from Lake Washington in just a moment.
That is the safety of the driver and the boats that are involved. And, Eric, you've got probably the finest assemblage of medical facilities and assistance that you could ask for.
That's true, Dick. Our URC Medical Rescue team is composed of myself as Chief Diver and Rescue Director, Dr. Peterson as Medical Director, and our outstanding paramedics from the Bellevue Fire Department here in Washington State. But each race site also has hundreds of local volunteers backing us up. Here we have dozens of volunteer rescue divers, patrol boat people, fire boats, pit fire, and pit medical facilities.
All right, the pit medical facilities sort of come under Dr. Keith Peterson. You've got a huge van that you use here, which is a little different than a lot of the courses, but you, as a doctor, have got to be prepared for just about any kind of injury imaginable.
We are, and that's why we have the paramedics on board, because they do it all the time. And this group we have from Bellevue, Art Cole and Marty and Bruce, they just know how to take care of this type of injury all the time. They've been with us now 11 years. They've been on wrecks and crashes, and it's not a serious thing to them as far as they've been there. They've been down the road before. And here we have the pit medical, which is our 63-foot trailer, and we have an intensive care unit, or we can have physical therapy or x-ray units in the trailer itself.
You pay your dues so long in unlimited racing, and all of a sudden it starts to pay off. Steve Wimmer, you know that. With a Gold Cup victory and a win at Tri-Cities, 2 wins in 1 year, you've never done that before.
No, I was beginning to wonder when I was going to get the dues all paid. It's wonderful. It's a tremendous feeling. The crew's doing a tremendous job on the boat, and our young driver, Mark Tate, is, what can I say, is fabulous.
I noticed you're not hands-on as much as you used to be. You've got people you trust, you let them do the job.
Well, we've got all the right players in the right positions now, and it doesn't take the supervision it took before. I mean, I'm finally able to do my job, and that's have fun.
We get ready for Heat 2A, and there you see the respective lane positions for the boats. Winston Eagle on the inside, and lane number 1 on the far outside. The pace boat will be the Super Range Golf. George Woods Jr., they all eye the white flag high atop the starters' stand, and they wait for the green flag to come out. They'll come around the corner. They'll try to hold their position. They must be in the right lane that has been assigned to them by the draw. All eyes now up on the starting tower to see if they replace the white flag with the green. It looks like they're lined up, and they should get a good start on this. We wait for the flag as they come down. There it is. Right off the bat, we've got a battle. The Winston Eagle trying to take it out of lane number 1. Pepsi American Spirit also right up alongside. It's going to be tight. All boats diving for the inside of that turn. They'd like to get the inside lane if possible. They must hold it as long as the boats are alongside. A great shot. You can see the American Spirit now trying to move up between the other two boats. On the outside, it is the Miss Budweiser, and it looks like the Miss Budweiser is going to take Mark Tate on the back stretch.
Oh, the Budweiser came out of lane number 4. Mike Egret in. The Old Boy Alberto Pork Jerky was left standing at the dockside, and those three boats hit the turn at the same time. And look at the Winston Eagle flying. So is the Budweiser. Rough water, and then once again, it's a side-by-side battle with Budweiser coming out on top of party number 4 to come down and complete lap number 1. Whoa!
Miss Budweiser getting very loose, but you can see neither driver, Mark Tate on the inside to the right of the screen of the Winston Eagle, or the Miss Budweiser driver, Scott Pierce. Neither one of them taking their foot out of the power at this point. They're going to ride them like bucking broncos if they have to. Winston Eagle took the turn, took the inside groove. It's a little bit of an advantage to be on the inside if you can keep your speed up. Obviously, the Winston Eagle was capable of doing that. Scotty Pierce now riding in second in the Miss Budweiser. Mark Tate cannot let up one iota.
No, he cannot, and it's been this way all year long between the Winston Eagle and Mark Tate and Scott Pierce in Miss Budweiser as they come down to complete another lap, averaging close to 140 miles an hour.
Still loose on the inside. The Winston Eagle in the far background. You can see the American Spirit Mark Evans boat coming around the turn. That boat won on the eastern swing of the circuit. So Mark has a very competitive boat, and he may move up into the middle of this. But still, Mark Tate holding that inside groove. Again, Mark was able to take advantage of the inside, this time from lane 1. As you remember, earlier today, he started in lane 3 and still had the Miss Budweiser on the outside of him and was able to set up this same scenario. So Mark Tate really has control of that boat, doing a beautiful job in the Winston Eagle.
Mark Tate has increased his lead right now. The Budweiser crew, they have some balancing problems. That boat was being repaired all week since they had a problem at Tri-Cities, Washington, when these two lead boats collided for the second time in 1991.
No problem of collision out here now unless one of them either speeds up a tremendous amount or the other one slows down. Scott Pierce looks now like he's going to settle. Bernie Little, obviously, the wheels are turning inside of that mind now as he tries to figure, do they need to rebalance the Miss Budweiser, or do they go with a stronger engine? Just what do they do to catch the Winston Eagle?
This boat right now, if he holds on, the Winston Eagle will cut this boat's High Point Boat Championship team lead down to a mere 200 points going into the final here today.
Again, the third place boat is the red, white, and blue boat with the stars and stripes on it, known as American Spirit, driven by Mark Evans. And as we told you earlier, that boat has won one of these races earlier this year, a championship heat. It is very capable of moving up, but again, you'd have to think that they probably are just going to save the equipment, but they may not have a choice, because there you can see George Woods Jr. in the Super Range Golf coming up on the outside, back to the second place boat, the Miss Budweiser, Scott Pierce, and he has settled back, and now you can see the leader is passing up one of the slower boats on the inside. This is pretty good racing out here, and again, the leader has not taken his foot off of the main pedal yet.
Live streaming can be tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right...
And I'll tell you one thing, as this boat will wait the checkered flag and win his second consecutive heat victory here today, the Miss Budweiser crew has probably told Scott Pierce, sit in second, qualify for the final, let's try to get him in the winner-take-all final as the checker flag does fall on Mark Tate.
Mark Tate very happy, I'm sure, his second win out here today. And you can see the high fives being passed around on the owner's tower for the Winston Eagle with Steve Woomer and his crew.
And here's the way they finished: Winston Eagle, Budweiser, Pepsi American Spirit, Old Boy Alberto Park, Edge, Hunan Harbor, and the Super Range Golf did not finish.
Well, Mark, I got to say, you do go boat racing.
Well, the Winston Eagle Cruise and Steve Woomer, the owner, has provided Mark Tate with a beautiful race boat here this weekend. The boat's handling well.
Jack, there had to be some real memories flooding back.
Oh, I'll just say, it wasn't very fast, but listen, this is just like old times, believe me. It was great.
Hey, wait a minute, 120, that would get you in the field.
Oh, yeah, but you got to do more than that now, believe me.
Now let's go back to more action on this fifth stop of the Eagle Snacks Hyman Plain Series. Old Boy Alberta Beef Jerky in Lane 1, Kellogg's Frozen Flakes Lane 2, Jackpot Food Mart, Misco Bowling. On the outside, Hyperloops T+. The Miss Rock has not started.
There's the green flag, and we've got a start at Heat 2B here on Lake Washington in the Rainier Cup. And it looks like it's going to be a tight battle coming down. The turbine boat's trying to move out in front if they can. And it's going to again be the piston-powered boat. It's the Old Boy Alberto, Mitch Evans driving that boat. He has got it in the lead. The two turbine boats trying to catch him on the outside. Look at as they battle and almost hit together down in the corner. In the middle, it is the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, and now in the lead, the U2 Hyperloops T+, Stephen David out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, driving the boat.
A pretty good shot there as the boats almost changed lanes and came together, but no infraction. As we look at our left, it is Steve David in the Hilton Hyperloop T+, taking over first place, coming down to complete lap number 1. On the inside is the Old Boy Alberta Beef Jerky with Mitch Evans. And now the lead is extended, but look at this camera angle. Looks closer than it really is, but on the inside, Mitch Evans, he's not going to give up.
One thing about Mitch Evans' boat, it looks extremely heavy, and it really is heavy, so when it got light like that down there, it literally started to fly like a kite. You start to understand the dynamics of this thing. They get too much air under these boats, heavy or not, and some of them are upwards of 8,000 pounds. They lift right out of the water and start flying. Mitch Evans got off the pedal, got it back down a little bit. He really was putting up quite a battle with the lead boat, which is this one, Stephen David in the Hyperloops T+. Stephen doing a good job, very steady drive for that boat. Now he got just a hair loose, but they can actually tick-tock back and forth, tiptoe between the two sponsons, and that's fine. It's when they fly high and start to lose the horizon over the front of the boat that they've got a problem.
This is stop number 5 on the Eagle Snacks Hyman Plain Series with 2 more to go, San Diego and Honolulu, Hawaii. And in Honolulu, we're going to have that dual shootout between the top 3 point leaders for top cash prize on the day before the race. And it's a 3-lap. You go right to the wall with that foot. I'll tell you right now, that's going to be exciting, that dual shootout.
It's just another feature that's been added onto the Unlimited circuit that really has caused a lot of talk and a lot of excitement. This gentleman right now is going to be the talk of the pits for the next few minutes, that's for sure. Stephen David really had to fight to get out into the lead. He did off of turn number 1. Once he got the lead, he took it clean, and he's been holding it right through the race. He's coming around the final turns now as he looks up to the top of the starting tower to see if he gets the checkered flag. The only reason he wouldn't get it is because possibly of some sort of a course infraction, but in this case it looks clean. Second place is Mike Hansen in the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Mitch Evans and Old Boy Alberto Beef Jerky has broken down. We're looking at our leader, who finished second the last time out. With these points, he will qualify for today's final in the Rainier Cup.
So Hyperloop T+, a great story. You saw the story about Jim Harvey and his 25 years in racing, and you met the young driver of this boat, Stephen David, and you heard him say a lot of good things about the crew. That crew deserves a win in the minds of everybody that's here today. They've done a terrific job out here. This is the checkered flag lap for the lead boat. Second place, as we said earlier, still fighting to hold up in there is the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Mike already has a win in that boat, so Mike Hansen really will be happy to sit back in second.
Jerry Hopp and Misco Bowling did not finish. He's dead in the water also. Only 3 boats running. Hilton Hyperloop T+, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, which we're looking at right now, and the Jackpot Food Mart.
So Stephen David in the Hyperloops T+ will finish out with the checkered flag. There it is. He takes the win. He gets set for the final. There you see the rest of the finishers as the Old Boy Alberto is towed in the background. Jim?
Yeah, a couple of smiling guys down here, a little bit different. Now you've made the final.
Oh, let me tell you, Jim Harvey and this crew and Hilton's Hyperloop T+, they just put it all together. When I got in the cockpit, Jim said, let's win this one so we know what's going to happen in the final, and strapped me in extra tight and bolted the pedal to the floor, and I just had to drive that way.
Jim, you were saying prior to his returning to the dock that, gee, we did it from the outside.
Yeah, that's a pretty good advantage for the T+. That the outside is the worst place to be, and we had the worst gear ratio and propeller combination, which means we had to work harder than the other two boats, and we did it. So that's quite an accomplishment.
There may be a hole, as you can see, in the Oh Boy Oberto beef jerky boat as they try to lift it out of the water. We'll be back with more action in the championship heat in just a moment.
And it has been for years.
Yes.
Now, when the race is over, tomorrow, it starts all over again.
You bet. I'll start tomorrow morning with our volunteers and our staff, and we'll, do a critique and get going again. That's what it's all about.
And this is what it's all about when the bottom line is set. It is the final heat. The Rainier Cup is on the line. There are the boats coming down. Let's see the field. In lane 1, it's the U6 Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. The driver is Mike Hansen. In lane number 2, the U10 Winston Eagle with Mark Tate aboard. In lane number 3 is the winner of the Last Chance race, Super Range Golf, George Woods Jr. Lane 4 is Hyperlubes T+, Stephen David, the driver. Lane 5 is the Pepsi American Spirit, Mark Evans. And lane 6, the U12 Miss Budweiser, the trailer boat, will be the U3 Oh Boy Oberto Beef Jerky. He came in second in the Last Chance heat. Coming down, they look lined up. It's going to be a good call by the judges' stand to determine if that green flag will fly. It looks like the Miss Budweiser's already starting the position. They're underway now, and look at that jam into turn number 1. Looks like American Spirit had to go way through a rooster tail to the outside. Meanwhile, your lead boats are battling side by side. On the inside to the right of your screen, it was the Winston Eagle. Then it was in the middle, George Woods Jr. in the Super Range Golf, and the leader right now is Miss Budweiser, Scott Pierce. And the way that boat is riding, it'll be interesting to see if indeed the rebalancing worked on it. Right from the moment, he is being pushed hard on the inside by Mark Tate. Mark Tate will try to take it coming out of the turn.
And Mark Tate does take it, but look at the Budweiser come back on. Scott Pierce is putting that pedal to the metal, as they say. They'll come down. This will be a fast lap. I can assure you, 138.260 mile an hour for the Budweiser, 137.068 for Winston Eagle. That quick.
It's amazing to notice that at that speed, these boats seem to have settled down on the water a little bit. Both of them holding very tight. Now, George Woods Jr. was right up in between those two boats. He has dropped off the pace a little bit back to third place. Still your leader and setting a blistering pace out here. Scott Pierce in the Miss Budweiser. It looks like Winston Eagle has eased up a little bit. Now, he's got to be careful because if the Miss Budweiser gets enough room out front, he'll be able to cut back in and grab that inner lane. He's got to have at least 5 boat lengths between himself and the second place boat.
Scott Pierce has taken the Miss Budweiser up 8 miles an hour from 138 to 146. The Winston Eagle has increased its speed by 1 mile an hour, so the Budweiser is now starting to outdistance the second place boat.
They must have worked hard on the balance of it because the Miss Budweiser is holding very strong on the water. You can see now the Winston Eagle has been forced to change lanes and is riding in the wake, if you will, of the Miss Budweiser. He's got to be careful, though. He's not in the rooster tail. He knows he's got to stay on either side of that rooster tail. You cannot get in it because the boat will think it's solid water and actually try to ride right up on it.
In this final heat, it's 400 points for first, 300 for second, 225 for third as they go to the high points in the final heat. And it's a 200-point lead for the Miss Budweiser for the Eagle Sachs Hydroplane Championship Series lead. And if he can maintain this position, he'd go into the San Diego race 300 points ahead.
There's a good shot of the turn, and you can see the distance between the Miss Budweiser in first place and the Winston Eagle in second. And also you can see in that aerial George Woods Jr. in the Super Range Golf back in third place. He's about even distance as the Miss Budweiser is from the Winston Eagle. So it's a very even race all the way around. Still early in the race. We're coming up at the completion of lap number 3. Miss Budweiser has been in control since right off the first turn.
Lawrence Sawyer, crew member of the Budweiser, has the earphones on. He has told Scott Pierce of his distance lead on the second place boat. So Scott has slowed the Miss Budweiser on this lap down 5 miles an hour at about 141.
We must point out again that we are not talking about bank turns. You can see as the boat comes through the turn, it is flat water. It actually sets up like a dirt racer. It skids around and then they power out. It looks like Winston Eagle has started to lift up a little bit more. And now Mark Tate is on the charge again. He's going to try to close him down. He may have been playing possum back there, just laying in wait to try to catch Scott Pierce when he wasn't looking.
We're intercepting some radio signals from the URC. The Miss Budweiser is having a problem at the rear end. He's getting a vibration. This is allowing the Winston Eagle to come up. Now let me show you. This lap, 133.8 for the Budweiser. The Winston Eagle, 137.
And
He's got a challenge.
He's going to even it up. He's coming up on the outside, and you can see them cheering the boats on down in the pit area. And just as the checkered flag flies, Miss Budweiser takes it by a nose. So Scott Pierce just does take it. But look at the battle now for third place. The American Spirit on the inside takes it from George Woods in Super Golf. We'll be back with the winner in just a moment.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket and follow the race.
With 2 broken blades on the propeller, managed to hang on to beat the Winston Eagle here today. If you want the inside facts of unlimited hydroplane racing, then write to the Unlimited Racing Commission for the media guide at 414 Pontius Avenue North, Suite C, Seattle, Washington, 98109. Let's go to Dick Crippen. Dick?
Well, Scotty, I got to tell you, a little bit emotional on that one, huh?
Well, this just means so much. To be the Budweiser driver was a dream come true, and the second biggest dream of my life is to win my hometown boat race. And my crew did an excellent job. As you know, we had a real problem handling in the first 2 heats, and I said, fellas, let's just put it in the water. And we got the best engines in the business. Let's let them do the job. And the remarkable thing is the propeller was broken the last 2 laps. We probably got a nub back there, but it was enough to get it done.
Bernie, you were not particularly happy when 6 came up on the draw, but this kid did it.
Well, yeah, he did. He probably did the best job I've ever seen him do driving the Miss Budweiser. To come out in lane 6 and take him down, that's really something. And I want to tell you publicly and all of our fans that, Scotty, you did a fantastic job, and we're glad to have you in the seat of the Miss Budweiser.
Thank you. I sure love it here.
And there's a look at our Eagle Stack's high point standings through the first 5 races, with Miss Budweiser holding a 300-point lead with 2 races left. Well, this race is now history, Dick Crippen, and we did not have a demolition derby, though some of the boats were injured, especially the winning boat.
Yeah, that's true, and I think it's amazing that he was even able to drive that boat with a broken propeller. Apparently, one of the blades came off. That causes a tremendous vibration. Very hard to turn the boat with that kind of problem underneath. I just was amazed that he was able to get through and win it, but he did. That's what counts. There were some other damaged boats, but nothing like we've had in the past couple of weeks, so I think it's just really all go from here, and I think, once again, the flag start proved that it is a good way to do it. They were not happy with the 6th lane, but they proved they could still win out of it, and I think that'll make a lot of difference in their thinking.
Thank you, Dick. On behalf of Doug Ford, Dick Crippen, I'm Jim Hendrick from Seattle. So long.
Sports Express is brought to you